Hey, what's up? My name is Tyson Brown and I want to welcome you to Tyson's Fitness Tips podcast. This is Australia's top health and fitness podcast to help you lose weight, look good with your shirt off, feel confident in your body, and finally achieve the goals you want with your health and fitness. So 5 days a week, I'm going to be giving you top information from myself and also from leading experts in the field so you know everything you need to do to get in the best shape of your life. From nutrition to mindset to workout, everything is covered in this podcast and you need to go nowhere else. So like I said, it's going to be 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, in your ears with quick actionable segments that you can implement straight away, because the most important thing is that you can put these things into play. Also, if you listen all the way to the end of the episode, you're going to get 2 special gifts that you can download upon listening to it. So make sure you listen all the way to the end to get those free gifts, okay? So let's get into the episode. Guten Morgen, my friends. I'm still laying in bed. Not really, I'm at the gym and I'm waiting for a client. I've got 15 minutes and I'm like, perfect time to do a live because I only do have 10 minutes or 12 minutes roughly. And that's going to give me enough time to get through a live and then go see a client. So I'm like, sweet, let's get it done now. Let's get it done early. Let's get the hard stuff out of the way first, like I always preach and teach all the time. So this morning I had a cardio session because this week I'm actually doing a deload, and a deload simply means that you get to a progressive overload stage high enough that it's finding very, very hard to recover from your training session because you're pushing yourself so hard, and you have a week of like regressing the weights. Now it's not a week off from the gym, it's just a week of doing a little bit less than usual. So I'm doing half for everything for the weights, which means I have more free time, so I'm killing some time with some cardio. This morning was an hour ride on the bike because I am trying to get longer and longer distances. So just riding on the bike for an hour, seeing how far I can ride, because eventually I'm going to do the Sydney to Wollongong ride, which is about 80 Ks. So that'll take me a fair while. So I figured in the meantime, just build up that stamina, build up that endurance, and see how I go. So I jumped on the bike for an hour. And the good thing about when you're on a stationary bike, you can check your heart rate, because I use a heart rate monitor. So I could make sure that I was in let's say I wouldn't say fat burning zone, but a zone high enough to burn a fair bit of calories, but not hard enough to really exert myself, so I can recover pretty quickly from it. And that's what I was doing this morning. I jumped on, I kept my heart rate at about 125 to 130 mark, and I just cruised for an hour. It wasn't relatively hard. It's more monotonous than anything, but I got through it. And during the meantime, you've got to find things that you can do while you're doing cardio to kill time. So for me, I listened to my nutrition lecture, because I'm doing a new nutrition course at the moment and it's going to take me about a year to finish. And I was like, oh, this is a perfect time. It's a good lecture. It goes for about 90 minutes and I already watched 30 minutes yesterday. So I watched a fair bit of the lecture just on the bike. And then I did a little bit of social media stuff. I did this recording. I did other things during the meantime. Like, you've just got to find ways to make cardio less monotonous. And when you figure that out, when you need to do cardio, whether it be outside, it's not as monotonous. You can see there's different environment. You're not on the same pace every time, so it's a little bit easier. But when you're in the gym, you need to find ways to make it less monotonous so you can stick to it. Plus the ones downstairs, I don't know about your ones, but our ones have got Netflix. So if you download your Netflix account, you can get pretty freaking educated or whatever you want to watch. I would suggest watching Afterlife on Netflix if you haven't watched it yet, by Ricky Gervais's new series. It is a banger, so I would recommend you go and download that, watch it. And wow, I'm saying all these like English words because one of the new guys at the gym, he is English and he's one of the trainers, and like just the way he speaks, I'm like, oh god, I'm picking up the English speak. But anyways, back to what I wanted to talk about today. We're going to talk about the 5-minute rule, because I woke up this morning. I was tired. As you can see, I've still got my head resting on a pillow. I was pretty tired. I was like, man, I just want to go to sleep. But I took my coffee, took my pre-workout and said, you know what? Go to the gym, do 5 minutes on the bike, and if you don't want to do any more, go outside, go for a walk. And guess what? I did an hour. And that simple mental trick that I use for myself and I use for my clients is the trick you can do to help increase your chances of adhering to the gym. Because what you need to focus on is building a habit long term. And the way you build a habit long term is to repeat that habit as many times as possible. The more something is repeated, the more likely it's going to be ingrained in your brain. So when I say that, what you need to think about is let's say you want to go to the gym 5 times a week, right? Let's say 5 times or 3 times, whatever it's going to be. There are going to be some days where you're going to be exhausted, you're going to have no energy, you're not going to feel like doing anything. You're like, fuck, what's the point? I'm just going to skip out. I'm tired. I don't want to do anything. But you need to ingrain that habit, because the same thing as going to the gym, skipping the gym is also a habit. So if you can ingrain that habit of going to the gym and saying, I'm going to go today, and you tell yourself, I'm only going to go for 5 minutes. Even though I don't feel like it, I'm going to get on the treadmill for 5 minutes. And even if you only go for 5 minutes, then you walk out, at least you've gone to the gym and at least you've ingrained that habit. And that is one of the most important things you can do to develop the good habits. So even if you don't go and exercise for the whole hour, doing a little bit of something is much better than doing the whole thing, all right? So like with me with my meditation, I was doing 15 minutes for a couple of weeks, and then lately I've just been falling off the bandwagon. So instead of going, oh, well, I might as well give up meditation altogether, I'm doing 5 minutes of meditation. Anybody can find 5 minutes out of the day. And so for me, I just sat in the sauna after my cardio session and I did 5 minutes. Is it better than nothing? Absolutely. And so that's what you've got to do. You've just got to find yourself. You've got to go, what's the minimum amount of something you can do to build on that good habit? So if you tell yourself, okay, I'm only going to go to the gym for 5 minutes, and you go to the gym for 5 minutes and you leave, you're ingraining that good habit of just going to the gym even on the days you don't feel like it. And usually what happens is if you go to the gym and you go for 5 minutes, you're probably going to go for 10 minutes, you're probably going to go for half an hour, and you'll do your whole session eventually. And so it's just getting in there. It's that initial first step that seems the most overwhelming, because what you're thinking of is you're thinking, oh my God, I have to go to the gym and I have to push myself for the next 45 minutes to an hour. And that's pretty overwhelming, especially on the days you're tired. But if you tell yourself, I'm going to the gym and I'm going to do 5 minutes of walking on the treadmill to mentally trick yourself, then from there you can decide what you're going to do. Are you going to quit? Are you going to quit after that 5 minutes? Or are you going to keep going? So it's that little mental trick of building that good habit, and more importantly, just building on that momentum. Because momentum is what's going to drive you forwards. Momentum is what's going to keep pushing you for those days you don't feel like it. Because you cannot go on an upward trajectory, right? Let's say you're getting little wins every single day, up, 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 up. And if you stop all of a sudden, that momentum can drop off. And if you drop off for more than one day, it's so much harder to get back on track, because, like I said, just like going to the gym is a habit, not going to the gym is a habit. So if you're going to the gym, and then you skip one day, and then you skip 2 days, then you skip 3 days, all of a sudden, it's very hard to start going on the upward direction again, because you have to get the ball rolling with, what's the word called? Not motivation, momentum again. And so if you're struggling to get that momentum, it's because you've stopped everything. So instead of stopping everything completely and going, well, it's not worth going to the gym today. No, it is worth going to the gym today. It is worth going for 5 minutes, because you're building in that habit. And whether it's 5 minutes or whether it turns into 45 minutes, the main thing is you went to the gym when you didn't feel like it. And if you can do that, what's going to happen is you're going to slowly progress forwards. You're going to slowly ingrain that good, healthy habit. And eventually, it's going to become like an automatic thought in your head. Like, it's like, oh, I don't feel like going to the gym. Or all of a sudden, you're at the gym. You're like, how the hell did I get here? It's just like driving to work. It's just like everything else. You've got to put in the reps and sets, not just in the gym, but in your actual habits. So put in those reps. Practice every single day. On the days you're like, oh, I don't feel like eating healthy, why not just make a small salad and see you, mate, enjoy the gym, Dave. Why not just make a small salad? There you go, Dave's gone to the gym. Make a small salad and then go, okay, I'm just going to have a little bit of bite of this, and then see how you go from there. Because doing that little mental switch and just saying, I'm only going to do 5 minutes, even though you know you're tricking yourself, you're much more likely to stick to it in the long run. So I just want you to give that a thought. I want you to think about, for you, where can you say, I'm just going to give it 5 minutes, or whatever it's going to be, something small to build on that momentum. Because when you build on that momentum, hey Carly, when you build on the momentum and you tell yourself, I'm only going to do 5 minutes, even on the days you don't feel like it, and you get into the gym, that strength of the habit is getting very, very strong. And a good quote is, the chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they're too strong to be broken. So eventually, whether it's a good habit or bad habit, you're not going to feel like you're ingraining the habit at the start. But eventually what's going to happen is you are going to ingrain that habit so strong that whether it be good or whether it be bad, it's going to be very, very hard to break. So if you have that, okay, I'm going to go to the gym for 5 minutes, even on the days I don't feel like it, and you go and you ingrain that habit, eventually you're going to have to stop telling yourself that for 5 minutes, and you're just going to go to the gym whether you feel like it or not. Just like me this morning, telling myself, all right, just go and ride the bike for 5 minutes, and if you get through 5 minutes, you can get off. I did an hour, and it's because I went and I just used that little bit of momentum, and it moved me forward and propelled me on the right path. So that's what I want to leave with today while I'm lying on this couch waiting for my client. It's pretty cruisy, actually. It's a pretty good couch. Just think about, for you, Tell yourself, do that mental trick, start building that habit, and tell yourself, I am building in this good habit, because there is a great book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, which goes into this more deeper, and this is why I want to teach it to you, because it's so important, especially for your health and fitness. If you can start putting in those little habits now, and you do 5 minutes a day, or whatever it's going to be, I can guarantee you it's going to add up, and you are going to be a completely different person. It may only be a small thing, like 1%, going to the gym today isn't going to make you look better tomorrow. Eating healthy today isn't going to make you look better tomorrow. But doing that consistently over time and building that habit, you're going to get linear results, and those linear results are going to add up to one big fucking chunk. And you're going to stand in the mirror one day and go, what the fuck is going on here? Who am I? And what has happened to me in the last couple of months? Because you're either going to go really good or you're going to go really bad. And that's something to think about. So, I appreciate you listening again. Before you go, if you got any other questions, you can ask me, but I'm going to hop off because I got a client in 2 minutes, and it's time to get back in the gym. Build up the momentum, build up those healthy habits, and I'll speak to you in the next live. See ya. Hey, thanks for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. So now you've listened all the way to the end. That means you get some free goodies. So what you can do is you've got two different options, or you can take them both. I've got an intermittent fasting cheat sheet and a high protein 20 recipe meal guide designed specifically for you in your situation. These meal plans and this intermittent fasting guide is designed to help you burn stubborn belly fat and get in the best shape of your life. So all you have to do is go to the show notes, click on the download link, and they'll get sent straight to your email address. It's as simple as that. They're completely free. They're going to help you transform your body. So go to the show notes now and download your free guides, and I'll speak to you in the next episode.